Hey, comic book fans, welcome back to Comic Book Corner 2.0. That's right, guys. And Mike Spider Slayer is back for another comic book countdown. Guys, I apologize last week. I did not get a chance to do one due to my very hectic summer work schedule. It's almost over, though. I got another couple weeks, and then we'll be back to my normal work schedule, and I'll be able to hopefully get things done on time, and I won't miss things. So, enough of that jibber jabber. Mike Spider Slayer's got a countdown to do. This week we got 12 comics altogether, 10 books, hard copy, and 2 books digitally. So today we start off with number 12. This is all I have to say about that. This was my worst book of the week. Dinosaurs Attack, issue number 1 by IDW. This book is in the same lines of Sharknado, if you guys ever seen that, or Mega Shark versus Octopus, or some other cheese whiz movie that you've seen out there. Here's another cover of it. This book was pretty dumb. I'm giving it 1 star. What was this book about? It was about this guy who creates this space station that's called Prometheus that you have to fly to with a space shuttle, and you have to activate it in space. It creates this aura around Earth, and it time scans everything. So you can witness everything live, but you can go back in time and alter time as well, I guess. But when a freak accident happens, freaking dinosaurs wind up appearing on Earth and start eating people and shit. It's pretty weird. It seems alright. It seems pretty cheesy that you might want to read it, but the first issue is a lackluster. It's very dull, very boring, very wordy. It jumps all over the place. How even the machine malfunctions is a mystery. All you find out at the end of the book is a bunch of dinosaurs start roaming the earth. People start aging a million times a second, and it's just weird. However, I am going to buy the second issue or read the second issue digitally to see where this series actually goes, and if it gets even more cheesier than already anticipated. So I'm definitely going to see it. But honestly, if you want to buy this, it is definitely not worth $3.99 by any stretch of the imagination. It is not worth your $3.99. So don't buy this book. Retarded. Ready for the next book? Maybe we got a real book here. Number 11. Savage Wolverine. Okay, me and Chris, Dark Avenger C86, are agreeants of this 100%. This book is changing artists and changing creative teams every story arc. So it's a bunch of miscellaneous stories. It has nothing to do with continuity. In fact, this book has to do with before Marvel Now, because it even says it in the book. It says, editor's note, this story takes place a while back, like at least before last October, so don't get out of all sorts about continuity. If you wanted to make stories before the current continuity, why do Marvel Now? I don't know. That's just my opinion on it. I really liked Frank Cho when he did that first story, and I was like, okay, Zeb Wells is taking over. But now that I feel that it's constantly changing, it's about miscellaneous stories, and sometimes they're fun, but with so many other books out there, I'm not going to continue this. And I do really like the artwork in this book, but I'm not a fan of the actual story. I'm not a fan of this whole freaking whatever creature that it was that doesn't speak, that beats the crap out of Wolverine in this issue. The artwork is pretty cool. I like the artwork. I like, the savageness, I guess, of Wolverine, how he is crazy. I love the way Elektra is drawn, but I'm just not a fan of this particular story, and I don't feel that I'm going to be continuing it anymore, especially since I'm going to be dropping it soon. But again, if you're a fan of Wolverine and you like stories that don't have to do with continuity, and you just like reading it for fun, this is a book for you. But this particular book is not for me anymore, and there's lots of other stuff coming out that I can spend my money on. So I'm going to give this one a 2 out of 5, and that was number 11 this week. Number 10, top 10. All New X-Men, issue number 14. I felt that this issue kind of like was a cop-out. You got kind of held with this huge cliffhanger at the end, and it just found out that Jean Grey had this Phoenix Force images, and she was just portraying it upon her enemies, and it really had nothing to do with what we all thought was going to happen. And it was just basically a conclusion of everything that has happened or been building with Mystique and Lady Masterminds, and all of that nonsense. And you find out that the issue was really not that much story driven. It was just a lot of fighting and battling and a lot of wannabe humor from Iceman, uh, and things of that nature. I wasn't a huge fan of this for some reason. Usually with books that had lots of action in them, really, I really get exciting for it. But I didn't find that there was a real plot, or it didn't do anything for the story with these X-Men characters. And that's my opinion, of course. I like the way Kitty Pryde was in this particular issue, how she was very forceful, and I like her personality in this book. And I see out of anyone her character grow out of anybody else in this series. And at the end of this book, you're left with Jean constantly apologizing about what she did to her friends, about putting those images in front of her of the Phoenix. And you have her sitting in a corner going, sorry, and crying. She's like a little whiny baby in this series, and I don't like it. And you get to see Mystique fly away. And then you get to see a preview for the next issue where it's like, okay, well, now you get to see Jean and Beast, I think it is, kissing each other. Maybe. I don't know. This series, I still like it, but it's really started to, where it was from issue number 1 to this point, I think it's dropped down a little bit. It's still a good series, but I don't think they're really doing anything until this new X-Men Atom thing is going to come into play, this event for the X-Men. So I think they're just kind of stalling things along. I don't know. We'll see. I wasn't a huge fan of this. I thought it was an average issue at best. I'm giving it a 3 out of 5. Next, number 9 on the countdown. Another digital review here, and that is Red Sonja issue number 1. Now, I don't normally read Red Sonja, but I got a message from somebody. I forgot the person's name, and I apologize. I don't know if it was Daniel377. I'm not sure. But he said, Mike, did you pick up Red Sonja number 1? And I asked him if it was any good. And I was like, oh, that's right. But Red Sonja is now written by Gail Simone. So I decided to, not pick it up, but read it digitally because I have access to these books digitally. And honestly, I thought this was a solid read. It's a 3.5 out of 5. It has Red Sonja starting off as how she was rescued by this king with another female. And what happens is she is forced to train an army because there's this war that's starting to brew. And then we find out at the end of the issue that the war that she's going against and their leader is the person that was in the cell with her during this dark period for them. So they used to be sisters, and somehow they split apart. Now, the cliffhanger of this is how these sisters became split apart amongst each other. And it'll be interesting to see the character development between Red Sonja and her sister, and it'll be interesting to see. I definitely really like this book. I gave it a 3.5 out of 5 stars, and if you guys are Gail Simone fans, I suggest that you pick this one up. You might really like this book, and we know Gail Simone's potential. So, guys, check out Red Sonja, and this was number 9 on this week's countdown. Next, number 8, Invincible issue number 4. Antrom Levy and Adam Eve basically just have an intellectual battle between each other. Adam Eve basically convinces Antrom not to kill her and not to go after Invincible as well. Invincible is locked up in this other dimension between this Hannibal-like Invincible, and he's basically about to get eaten, but he gets rescued by another Invincible, or another form of himself. And by the end of this issue, we find out that Armstrong Levy winds up going into another dimension, and it was all supposed to be averted because Adam Eve really convinced Armstrong not to do anything. But in the end, we really find out the end game of this all is that we can't, Adam Eve can't use her powers at all because it risks losing or killing the baby. So now, where this series goes is we're going to find out, the future of, Adam Eve and what her baby is, and Armstrong Levy because Invincible has to find them. This wasn't my favorite issue of Invincible, but it's always a good series. Robert Kirkman does a great superhero series, and I like it. And I'm going to give this one 3.5 out of 5 stars. Number 7. Nova, issue number 6. New creative team, Zeb Wells and Paco Mandina. That's right. If you guys are familiar with Paco Mandina's art, the most recent thing that he's done, I know for sure, was the new X-Force book that was out there. I like his art. His art is almost similar to our last creative team's art from Jeb Loeb and Ed McGuinness. It was very similar to that, but this gives it a little bit of an older feel to it, and it's very desirable art. I truly did enjoy it. It's basically a jumping on point if you have not read Nova yet. It gives you a little sum up of everything that Nova has done recently since right before Marvel Now till now, and really cool stuff. And what this issue has to do with is that it has to do with Nova talking with his mom and basically having permission to be Nova, which was very interesting. The characterization and character development is really nice, and it's nice to see Nova and the relationship between his mom and his baby sister, and to live up to his dad's legacy. It's great to see Sam, which is our main character, stand up to the bullies, and with his self on Earth. And then it's great to see him being in space as well. And I guess this is what adds to this series, is that it's his human form as well, besides being Nova, which is cool to see. But I like this book, even though it's just a jumping on point, just a filler. We really don't even know where we're going with the next story arc yet, because it's a complete filler issue. But it was a fun read, and one of my favorite books from Marvel Now right now. So I'm going to give this one 3.5 out of 5 stars as well. Oh, we do know that Superior Spider-Man is making an appearance. That will be interesting to see where this all goes. Number 6. Green Lantern and the New Guardians. And it says, "Don't struggle, Kyle." And we get to see really the full introduction of this character by the name of Relic. And he's just this giant-looking Galactus-like creature. I want to say that he's on that same scale of size. But what he does is he taps into Kyle in this issue and tries to find out everything about this current universe. I guess he knew a lot about the past universe, but ever since he's been locked up, he wants to find out everything that's going on in this universe. He's really strong. He negates Kyle's white power, and he taps into him again to find out everything that is going on. Carol Ferris is actually introduced. Is summoned by the Guardians to try to help Kyle. The artwork is really desirable in this issue. I really like the way Carol is drawn. I like the way Kyle is drawn, and I like this series, and I like this issue. Great facial expression here. It kind of reminds me of a little bit of a creepiness horror movie where he's being tapped into his mind about what's going on and everything that he's done. Here's another example of that. His eyes are rolled behind his head. He's just being experimented on, just like from some freaking aliens or something. Really interesting stuff. And what happens is we find out that this guy right here, him and Carol wind up working together to reflect off the light, and she winds up helping Kyle get away from the Relic, which was interesting to see. But by the end of the issue, we see that the Relic basically gets any information that he wants, and he escapes. and Kyle's afraid that, I don't know if we can stop him. Like I said, this was a solid book. The artwork is pretty good. It's a little bit inconsistent at times because here, for instance, like Kyle looks like a little boy here, and they make Carol look amazing in it. But overall, I liked it, and I enjoyed the art, and I liked the story, and I like where this is going. It's something different, something that we haven't seen, and I'm giving this one a 3.5 out of 5 stars as well. And this was number 6 on this week's countdown. Top 5. Number 5. What If Avengers vs. X-Men? I didn't see very many people review this book or very many people talking about this book. I even did an in-depth review on this issue on my channel, and not many people really watched or got into it. So I wonder how many people are really tired of Avengers vs. X-Men in general. However, this is the way the story should have been told. I like this story. Unfortunately, we've gotten lots of deaths, and we would have trouble bringing all these characters back. Or should we have? We got Age of Ultron. We can just travel in time and do whatever we want. Nevertheless, this story was pretty interesting. We get to see our heroes go out in space and try to stop the Phoenix Force in this particular issue. We get to see a couple of deaths. Falcon dies. We get to see someone else die. Was it Mockingbird, I think, or who dies in here? Hawkeye's ex-girlfriend or whatever her name is. And we get to see, tensions grow between Cyclops and Iron Man. And we can just say that Thor tries to stop the Phoenix Force, and he goes toe-to-toe with it. They do this nice little battle, and you think he's going to win. No, that's not the case. His freaking hammer gets destroyed. He dies. He just floats away out of our space. Whoa! And then you get Nova, Marvel Girl, Vision. They all get possessed by the Phoenix Force here. And you're like, damn. But that is short-lived. Because by the end of the issue, you get to see what we may have all hoped that would have happened in the original Avengers vs. X-Men, and you get to see Hope get possessed by the Phoenix Force. And now she's the sole owner of all the power. And how our teams go against her and how they stop her is yet to be determined. But this is an interesting issue, and I truly enjoyed it. I'm giving it a 4 out of 5. I think that's what I gave it. I really enjoyed it. I wasn't as excited because now that I saw a death happen in that first issue, I figured that there was more deaths that were going to happen, and I figured that it was going to happen, so I wasn't as surprised. But if you're interested in this series, give it a try. It's worth the money. I like it. I liked it a lot. So that was number 5 on this week's countdown. Sorry, I got a text real quick. All right. Number 4. Vibe, issue number 6. If you guys are interested to see a full in-depth review on Vibe, you can check out Dark Avenger Inc. I did a full review. This was my sleeper pick of the week. I think it was 4 out of 5 I gave it. This book is really good, guys. Everything that happened in issue number 1 has come full circle now, and we get to see shit that is about to hit the fan in this series. In the first issue of the series in Vibe, we got to learn about how Cisco got his powers and how his brother Armando got sucked away and died, and Dante is his other brother that helps him. Well, in this issue, that all comes around, and you got to see that cliffhanger also. The Darkseid has a daughter, but in this issue at the end, we find out that Cisco's brother Armando is really much alive, and it's this guy right here. His name is Rupture, and he's the one that goes after everybody and captures everyone and supposed to do all the dirty work. Where he came from, I don't know. How he became this way, I don't know. But he's supposed to capture Gypsy. He's supposed to capture, I guess, release Darkseid's daughter, and and it's just a lot of stuff happening in this issue. The great thing about Vibe is that it has nice artwork, nice mixture of action adventure, and it's got really great family dynamic. You get to see the bond between all three brothers, how much they truly love their family and what they'll do for each other, and that's what I like about this book. And Cisco is willing to do anything to help anybody, and that, you know, is what a true hero is all about, and that's what this book is. Now, if you're looking for a tie-in between the JLA and this book, I don't think it happens here. This story is its own entity, and if you want to just read a great story besides, you know, the Trinity War or something that's going on in DC right now, Vibe is the book for you. And I gave this one, again, a 4 out of 5. Top 3, top 3, top 3. Number 3. Superior Carnage, number 1. 5 out of 5 in my opinion. The last story with Carnage in it was Minimum Carnage. He got lobotomized. But the whole story before he got lobotomized was dumb. You don't want to read that crap. This book is different. This book has some kind of horrific type of feel to it. This was like a nightmare, this book. It had a mixture of like Alien and I don't know inside of it. But in this particular issue, you get to see the narration done by a prisoner. If you guys are interested in an in-depth review on this, I did it on this channel right here. And the narration was done by a prisoner. How he's locked up in a maximum security villain prison with just common petty thieves trying to save money from the government. Typical government, right? Well, what happens is Carnage winds up getting loose. And Carnage winds up taking his true form here, and he winds up killing everything and anything possible. Again, very horrific like comic book. He winds up killing that prisoner because the guy is sitting on the can and winds up going up his ass, and he winds up killing him. It's just awesome. Again, theme today, eyes rolled up behind your head. And the person who's behind all this is the Wizard. And the Wizard wants to take control of Carnage. Well, let's just say that plan kind of epically fails. And what happens at the end of this issue, well, I'll give you a little spoiler here. Bam. Carnage gets all messed up. But who messed up that? My God. Who messed up Carnage so badly? No, you got to read it or watch my in-depth review. It was pretty awesome. This book was great. I gave it a 5 out of 5. Artwork was great. Writing was great. Where this goes, I'm not sure. But this is the best #1 issue of a Carnage series that I have read in years. So, really, really good. 5 out of 5 stars. Number 2. What can it be? Will it be Ultimate Spider-Man? Or will it be Justice League of America? Ding, ding. Oh, number 2. Justice League of America. That's right. Issue number 6. The continuation of the Trinity War. This book was 5 out of 5 stars as well. I had 3 5 out of 5 star books this week. This book was amazing. I truly enjoy this this event that's going on. Like you guys know that this is my first major DC event that I've ever read. I've never read an event from DC because I was never a DC fan. I never was until the New 52 started, and now to this event brought everything together. But this book was amazing. I love to see how Superman's character was in this issue, how he just volunteered to be locked up because he knew that there was something truly wrong with him. I love seeing the little battles between the certain characters like Flash between Martian Manhunter, Aquaman, Hawkman, Vibe, and Flash, and how they're trying to stop each other from creating all kinds of chaos, and Superman just at his breaking point. Really interesting stuff in this issue. Things are really transpiring nicely. Amanda Waller continues to be a bitch. There's always a hidden objective behind her, and I cannot freaking stand her. And if there's anybody that needs to die, it's Amanda Waller, because she's a hoe. Excuse my language, but she is. I cannot stand her. She's always something. Superman is bad. He's in control. He's just lost it. He needs to be locked up. The Justice League is back. Screw you, Amanda Waller. Can I get a gun to your head? God, I hate someone. I can't take her. But they're trying to prove Superman's innocence because they're doing an autopsy of Dr. Light. Wonder Woman's trying to find out what's going on. Batman's trying to talk to Superman about his innocence. And Superman is sick. There's something seriously wrong with him. He's coughing. He's barfing up blood, whatever it is that he's doing. But again, Wonder Woman's trying to find out everything possible. And Jeff Johns and Jeff Lemire are doing a wonderful job here. Artwork is nice. It's not as good as Justice League, but it's still nice. And by the end of this issue is we find out that Superman is super sick because he's super blue in the face. Like, look at that. The guy is messed up, man. I mean, he's seriously sick. I'm trying to figure out what's wrong with him. And here we get the cliffhanger at the end of the issue. And we're going to try to find out what happened to Superman here. And it continues in Justice League Dark. This was a fantastic read, a fantastic book. If there wasn't any other great books out there, this would be #1 easily. But there's just that one other book that was #1. And guys, please don't miss this. This is a great event. This has put DC together. This has put DC New 52 on the map now. And I think we might talk about this for years to come, and there's going to be lots of ramifications in the near future from this. So check this one out. So the #1 book of the week, and you guys already saw it, and it is Ultimate Comics Spider-Man issue number 25, the 25th issue of this particular series, and this is Spider-Man No More, the final issue, I would assume, of this story arc. Because, guys, if you don't know this by now, and this is a spoiler, we all knew that Miles Morales was not going to stay without the suit for all that long, even though it's been a year in the series. But he does get put. He does get to put the suit back on again. Thank you. Thanks to Jessica Drew. She shows up at his house, and she starts talking to him. She finds out, you find out that she's a clone of Peter Parker, or a reject clone of Peter Parker. And he has he's being pulled in so many directions, Miles Morales, on what to do. Should I be Spider-Man anymore? Shouldn't I be Spider-Man anymore? And he gets pulled by Kanky. He gets talked to by Katie Bishop. He gets talked to, in the last issue, by Gwen Stacy. And we can see all his friends are just telling him, be Spider-Man again. Do it. Be Spider-Man. And he finally does. He finally puts on that outfit once again and goes with Jessica Drew out on the rooftop right here. And it was just an awesome issue. And what makes Ultimate Comics Spider-Man so great is the writing by Brian Michael Bendis. Miles Morales is so relatable to Peter Parker, so it reminds you of a Peter Parker book. So it kind of fills in that void that we're all missing from Peter Parker. Next, what's so great about this book is the artwork. The artwork is really done by Dave Marquez, and the facial expressions right away captures you. It gets you into the book. It makes you feel what the characters feel, and that's what I love about this book so much. Gwen Stacy talking to Aunt May about Spider-Man and his responsibilities. You get to see the anguish on Katie Bishop's face about how much pain he is in. Even his friend, Ganke, he's just wants to talk to him, saying that he's Spider-Man. Get over your mom's death. You could be saving so many lives. Again, it's so awesome. I didn't even really pay attention to the Cloak and Dagger thing in this part. They just do a brief scene of how they came out and fought the Roxxon guy. But again, same thing with Jessica Drew, how she's explaining herself. It's just a great read, guys. And again, flashbacking to Miles Morales when his mother died. Just so much great stuff that this series has to offer. And some way, one way or another, I'm going to be buying the trades for this series from the early trades that got up to this point, I think to issue 20 or whatever it is, because I really want to read this. I want to get the full effect of this actual series. And this got a 5 out of 5. And just as an overall story for me and being a Spider-Man fan, that's why this kind of got that #1 push. Just a complete great comic book out there, and I look forward to reading this each and every month it comes out. So guys, there you have it. There is the countdown for the week. You got number 12 as Dinosaurs Attack, and you got number 1 as Ultimate Comics Spider-Man. You saw the rest in between. Another countdown is wrapped up. And guys, that's all I have for you this week. So until the next comic book review, this is Mike Spider Slider signing off. And guys, thanks for watching Comic Book Corner 2.0. And guys, tonight on Dark Avenger Inc., 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, check out Dark Avenger Inc. Live. That's right, guys. It's the live show on Google+, where you get to see us talk about this week's comics. San Diego Comic-Con news is this week, and all kinds of other fun stuff in between. So if you haven't checked us out there, check us out on Dark Avenger Inc. at 9 o'clock tonight. So guys, thank you for watching, and until the next comic book review, Mike Spider Slider signing off. And guys, thank you for watching Comic Book Corner 2.0. Take care, everyone. I'll see you real soon. Bye.